Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are tackling a feature that's kind of hiding in plain sight on Instagram guides. Our goal in this deep dive is really to unpack some source material we've looked at, focused on using this, well, often overlooked tool to significantly grow your profile's reach and impact.
Exactly. And, speaking of boosting visibility and growth, which is what guides can help with organically, sometimes people look for faster ways too. There are services out there like rapidboost.net is one site people mention for boosting social media profiles if you're looking to amplify things quickly.
Right, good point. A different angle on visibility.
Mhm.
But today, we're focusing on this organic approach with guides. I'm actually pretty excited about this, exploring how this feature could be a bit of a secret weapon.
For sure. We've been digging into an excerpt called Mastering Instagram Guides for Profile Growth. And our mission today really is to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge from this material. To give you a shortcut, help you understand how guides can make you stand out and drive engagement. They're really presented here as a powerhouse tool just waiting to be unlocked.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack that. Instagram guides. So, what did this material tell us they are, fundamentally?
Well, think of them as curated collections right there on your profile page. This material describes them as a really effective way to bundle related content together. Your own posts, posts you've saved from others, even specific products, bundled into these visually appealing, easy to browse formats. It's sort of like creating a mini magazine directly within
A
Instagram.
mini magazine.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I like that visual. So instead of someone having to scroll like forever through your feed to find related stuff, you're just handing it to them.
In a neat package. Precisely, yeah. They organize multiple pieces of content under one single focused theme, which makes it incredibly easy for people to consume related information. And a key takeaway from this material, I think, is how they encourage followers to dive deeper into your content without, clicking away from the app.
Hmm. That sounds valuable just for the user experience side. But how does that translate into actual growth? What makes guides strategic beyond just being tidy?
Right. So this deep dive material, it highlighted a few really powerful ways guides contribute to growth. First off, they offer incredible longevity. Unlike stories, which vanish, guides live permanently on your profile. They have their own dedicated tab, and that's huge for making your evergreen content, your most valuable stuff, perpetually accessible.
Okay, so your best work doesn't just get buried after a day or two. It actually has a dedicated home.
Exactly. That's the idea. Second, they significantly improve discoverability. Guides can be shared widely, like in stories, direct messages, and critically, this material points out their potential to be featured on the Instagram Explore page.
Explore page potential. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. Reaching people who aren't even following you yet.
Absolutely, that's a big one. Third, they foster deeper engagement. The material really emphasizes that guides encourage viewers to spend more time interacting with your content, flipping through sections, absorbing more information, and that increased time spent on your profile. The algorithm likes that. It's interpreted favorably, boosting your overall visibility.
Right, more time spent equals Instagram thinking your content is valuable. That makes total sense.
hmm And finally, putting together these well-curated guides. It's positioned as a way to build thought leadership. By packaging valuable knowledge or advice or resources, you effectively brand yourself as an authority, a go-to resource in your niche.
Okay, they're not just about organizing. They're really about positioning, engagement, and reach. How did this material suggest we actually go about creating a guide that achieves all of that?
Well, it all starts with defining the purpose. Like, what's the core message or the value you want the viewer to get? Is it educational, inspirational, maybe a recommendation? You need to think about who you're trying to help and what problem you're solving for them. Like the material mentioned, maybe a recipe creator curates a weeknight dinner ideas guide, or a therapist could create something like Understanding Anxiety, a resource guide.
Gotcha. A clear purpose gives the guide focus. Then obviously you need the actual content to fill it up.
Right, exactly. And selecting content that truly resonates is key. The material suggests pulling from your own high-performing posts, maybe saved content that inspires you, or relevant products if that fits. It even suggests blending your own stuff with user-generated posts, maybe community favorites, to give it a richer feel. And honestly, this is a fantastic way to breathe new life into your best evergreen posts, the ones that might be buried deep in your feed.
Yeah, giving those past gems a second chance to shine. I love that. What about presenting the guide itself? The look and feel.
Okay, so the titles and descriptions are crucial entry points, according to this material. They need to be compelling, right? Clearly communicate the value proposition. Use clear, benefit-oriented language.
Mm.
Include relevant keywords your audience might actually search for. So instead of just my favorite books, maybe something like top 5 must-read books for entrepreneurs, more specific. And the description should be concise, conversational, and clearly state what the users is going to gain from it.
Make it immediately obvious why someone should click and spend time with you.
Yeah.
And maintaining your brand consistency.
Oh, absolutely essential. You need to leverage your established brand voice, your visual identity.
Yeah.
Using consistent cover images for your guides, for example, creates a really cohesive look on your profile tab. And making sure your captions within the guide reinforce your core messages. That builds recognition and trust.
This material also broke down the different types of guides. Could you walk us through those?
Yeah, it highlighted 3 main types as being particularly powerful for growth. First, product guides. These are perfect if you have products tagged on Instagram already. They essentially create these curated shopping experiences, turns your profile into a visually appealing catalog almost. Think of like a bookstore creating a holiday gift ideas for readers guide using their product tags.
Ah, okay. Making it super easy for people to discover and shop curated collections directly from your profile.
Exactly. It really streamlines that path to purchase.
That's like,
Second type. Places guides. These are fantastic for anyone focused on locations, travel bloggers, food accounts, local recommendation pages, even real estate. You curate locations based on posts you or maybe others have shared. The material gave an example like a travel blogger putting together a must-visit coffee shops in Paris guide.
right, tapping into that local interest in search, becoming a go-to local resource for people.
Precisely. And third, there are post guides. This is probably the most versatile one. This is where you group related posts around a specific theme, could be anything: beginner's guide to yoga poses, understanding cryptocurrency, quick home organizing tips. These are incredibly versatile for education, inspiration, allowing followers to kind of binge on a topic without endless scrolling.
Okay, so they truly are versatile tools, covering everything from shopping and local discovery to, in-depth educational content.
Yeah.
How does using these specifically impact the Instagram algorithm, beyond just encouraging more time spent on profile?
Well, beyond that valuable dwell time, which is important, this material points to the power of cross-promotion. You can actively share your guides in your stories and DMs. You can even link them in captions or your bio link. Each share creates a new entry point, right? Multiplying exposure beyond someone just randomly landing on your guide tab.
Ah, so you're not just building the resource, you need to actively drive traffic to it from all corners of the platform.
Exactly. The material suggested like a travel influencer might share snippets or key points from a destination guide in their stories over several days, constantly nudging people to view the full guide. Another huge factor is that discoverability aspect we touched on through the Explore page and search. Guides optimized with relevant keywords in titles, descriptions, and location tags for places guides have a much higher chance of ranking in Instagram search results and appearing on the Explore page, which, the material basically calls a goldmine for discoverability.
Okay, clear action item there. Treat guide titles and descriptions almost like SEO for Instagram. Use those niche relevant keywords. Good tip. This material also included a simple step-by-step for actually, creating one.
Yeah, it's actually pretty intuitive. From your profile, you just tap the plus icon, select guide, and then choose your format: places, products, or posts. Then you select the content you want to include, add your main title and description, then you add titles and descriptions for each specific item within the guide. You can rearrange things, edit them, and then just publish and share. It really is a simple process to unlock quite a bit of potential.
And the material also featured a case study, didn't it? About a solo creator using guides. What did that highlight?
Yes, exactly. The example was Jenna, a freelance graphic designer. She created a guide titled something like Getting Started with Branding, My Top Resources. And she basically organized her tips, past project examples, recommended tools, all using her existing posts. This material noted that within just 2 weeks of launching it, her average time spent per profile visit doubled. She saw that in her Instagram insights. Plus, she started getting DMs from potential clients who specifically mentioned finding her guide. And she actually landed 2 new client projects directly attributed to people finding that curated content collection.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty concrete evidence of impact. It sounds like the guide acted almost like a clear pathway, or maybe a funnel, for new followers to immediately see the value she offers.
Exactly right. It significantly streamlined how both new and existing followers could extract value from her profile and understand her expertise, much faster than just scrolling through a random feed.
So bringing this all together then, what's the essential game plan? distilled from this deep dive material for someone listening who's ready to start using guides.
Okay, so the material suggests a pretty clear action plan. First, audit your existing content. Look at what you already have. Identify your top performing posts, your evergreen stuff, valuable resources. Second, choose the best guide format product, place, or post that really aligns with your niche, your content, and what your audience actually needs or wants. Third, draft those compelling, value-driven titles and descriptions. Make clicking irresistible. Fourth, launch your guide and then promote it actively. Everywhere you can, stories, feed captions, your bio link, maybe add it to highlights. Fifth, don't just set it and forget it. You need to analyze your insights. Look at guide views, share, see how it impacts overall profile activity. And use that data to refine your current guides and create new, better ones over time.
And there was a pro tip mentioned in the material too, right? Something extra?
There was, yeah. A good one. It suggested considering collaboration. Partnering with peers in your niche to co-curate guides can be a really powerful way to leverage both your audiences for maximum reach and exposure.
Oh, that's smart. A great way to cross-promote and tap into entirely new communities. Okay, so what does all of this analysis really mean for someone looking to boost their Instagram presence right now? What's the big picture takeaway?
Well, this material strongly positions Instagram guides as a strategic, honestly elegant, and often underutilized method. A method to repurpose your best content, solidify your credibility, and significantly boost both engagement and discoverability on the platform. Success, it emphasizes, isn't just about having lots of content, but about thoughtful curation, clarity in how you present it, and consistency in promoting those guides you create.
It really does sound like a truly powerful tool just sitting there waiting on everyone's profile tab.
It absolutely is. And by applying the frameworks and steps we've talked about, the ones outlined in this material, you can really start getting your best content seen by the right people more effectively.
Your profile's breakthrough moment could truly be just one well-crafted guide away. Something to think about.
Definitely consider that possibility, that packaging your knowledge, your resources in this organized, curated way, it might just be the key to unlocking that next level of connection and growth with your audience. And of course, if you're looking to accelerate results even beyond these organic methods, exploring options like rapidboost.net, as mentioned earlier, could be something to consider for amplifying visibility, followers, and overall impact.